Hey, everybody, welcome back to our second day of the workshop. So, I am just really overly thrilled at how much comments there was and how many people were really valuing what they saw, what they got out of it. So, I really appreciate that. I just wanted to say thank you. If you are new to the group, please put in the comments that you're new to the group because I would like to personally reach out to you and welcome you myself because some of you guys known me for a really long time. Some of you guys been following me since my YouTube days. So I just want to, just kind of welcome you personally. So this is day 2. And if you are if you just got into the group recently, because there's a couple of people that I just approved. And if you kind of missed yesterday, go ahead and watch yesterday, make some comments, and another thing too is make sure that you have registered. The reason that I want you guys to register is because if you register, you get to be put in the lottery drawing, okay? And the lottery drawing is that one person is going to win the full program that I'm launching, the full manifesting program. So hopefully somebody that you guys know, or maybe it's you, who knows, one person is going to win. Also, too, there's going to be other prizes. I have decided that one of the prizes that I'm going to be giving away, I was going to do a manifesting journal, but I kind of decided that I'm going to do something a little bit different. And I think you guys are going to like this. So let me grab it. Okay, so I actually bought this for myself and it is super cool. So it's it looks really big. There's different sizes. You don't have to get the big one. I got the big one because this is like an 8.5 by 11 and it's leather bound. And what's really cool about it is it wraps around and let me see. Okay, so what it does is it wraps around and then it kind of links up and it's got like this little key that kind of locks in. The inside of it it's really nice. It's got like this leather and this is like handmade, hand sewn, and it's like real ancient looking paper. And I personally love this. So what I do is any kind of inspirations that I get, dreams, anything that, I feel like that maybe the divine God is telling me or teaching me, I put this stuff in here. I think it can be used as a manifesting journal. It can be used as a grateful journal. There's a lot of different things. I found one after I ordered this one for myself that was in this green leather that's absolutely beautiful. So that's going to actually be one of the prizes. Then I'm also going to be giving away some mala beads. If you guys have never used mala beads, they're absolutely beautiful. They come in all different kinds of colors and you can wear them as like a bracelet or you can wear it as a necklace. And they're really good for like meditation or affirmations. So anyways, so let's get started. Okay. So today what we're going to be talking about is the tools. Okay. So as you're popping in, let me get into the comments here. So as you're popping in, make sure that you are actually, hold on, let me put it on here. Make sure that you say your name because some of you guys don't have StreamYard. Okay, so say your name and then say on time. The reason I want you to do that is because I want to be able to kind of go back and see who actually showed up on time and who follows instructions. And so I noticed that yesterday, like way at the very end of the video, people were saying on time. So that didn't count. Okay. So you want to make sure that, if you are on time, that you're being noticed. Okay. So let me kind of go in here. So we got a lot of people popping in here. Yes, everybody. If you do not have an advisor, it's probably because you haven't registered. Okay. If you have registered and you haven't been assigned an advisor, then PM me and I will make sure you get hooked up. A lot of times that has to do with the fact that you're not friends with your Facebook advisor. And what ends up happening is they send you a message and it's hidden. So there is a post in the group that kind of shows you how to find that. So you might want to kind of look into that. Okay. All right. So let's get started. So who wants to learn what those tools are? So when you're talking about manifesting, there are some very specific tools that you need. Tools from your little toolbox. Well, what kind of toolbox are we talking about? What kind of tools are we talking about? Well, when you're building a house, you have to have, stuff to build it, right? So that's what we're doing is we have to know what are those special ingredients? What are those key things that you need to be able to manifest? So yesterday we talked about why mindset has a very important role in your development and becoming a master manifester. So today we're going to talk about those things that you need to develop even stronger. So the 4 ingredients are, and you might want to write this down because you might forget it. And you're going to go back and you're like, Michelle, what were those ingredients again? So write this down. Those 4 ingredients are your thoughts, your emotions, belief, and action. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break all that down for you. I'm going to tell you why those things are important and how they're important. Those are your tools. This is what's going to make you really soar. When you get all 4 of those things in alignment, then you end up becoming really strong and capable of manifesting. And when I say like a master manifester, I'm talking like you can make it happen within a very short period of time. We're not talking about months or years or something like that. We're talking about making it happen very quickly. So for you to do that, what you need to do is you need to have all those 4 things in alignment. So those 4 things are thoughts, emotion, belief, and action. So everybody knows about the thoughts, but I'm going to take a couple minutes and talk about that just a little bit. When you're manifesting, you really need to think about it. You need to think about what it is. You need to think about it a lot. You need to really think about it. Think about it when you're like, visualize it, see it, play it around in your head. I know that most of you guys have had ideas of catastrophe or potential something going wrong or fears that have obsessed your mind and you played it around in your head, right? And so you think about it and you're thinking, oh my God, what if this happens? And you're like, oh my God. And you just play the scenario in your head like a movie. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the exact same thing, but in a positive way. I want you to think of what you want. Okay. Be very specific. Be very specific about the thing you want. Now, when I'm working with people, like I work with a lot of entrepreneurs. Okay. And majority of my business is entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs that are working their business. And when I'm working with them, a lot of times what we do is we break it down. So we start with the overall picture. What's your overall goal? And then what we do is we say, okay, now your overall goal is 6 figures. So if you want to get to 6 figures, what do you have to have in place? So then they say, I need, 10 people on my team, and those 10 people need to have at least 2 or 3. Each person needs to be bringing in a certain amount of money, and I need to make, you know, 2 sales a day, or and I need to recruit 2 people, and 2 people a week, or whatever it is. Okay. So we break it down and we say, okay, what exactly, if you want to get to that point, you need to do this within this certain time frame. You need to be basically recruiting a certain amount per week. Okay. So we bring it all the way full center into the present moment, and we say, okay, so our goal is this, and we want to get there in this time frame. So what we need to do in that time frame is produce this amount of money per day, recruit this amount of people this week. Okay. So that's what we work on manifesting. So our thoughts aren't necessarily towards the 6 figures. They are, but it's sort of like, what do I have to do to get ready for my trip? I'm thinking about my trips. Like, I'm fixing to leave to go on a trip to Ohio. I'm going to be visiting my husband's family. So what do I have to do to get ready for that trip? So when I'm getting ready for the trip, I'm not just thinking about Ohio. I mean, it's in my head all the time. I'm talking about it. It's in my head. I'm obsessed about it. Okay. I'm thinking about Ohio and this and that and all these things that are going on. What am I going to do? What am I going to do on the road trip? All these things. Okay. All these things are going on in my head, but I'm focused on the things that I need to do. Okay. What do I need to do? Well, it's going to be cold, so I'm probably going to need a new coat. I probably need to go and get a couple of things. We needed to get Shane's tires changed because we're driving his car. There's all these things. So those things are the things that I'm going to be focused on. Okay. So you're looking at the overall picture, but you're focusing on the things you need right now. Okay. And that's what you're going to be putting your thoughts into, and you're going to be visualizing, and you're going to be thinking about that, and you're thinking about it and thinking about it. Okay. So that's where your thoughts need to be. Your thoughts need to be on the thing that you are creating, the process of the creation. Okay. So as you're doing that, the next thing is you need to be focused on your emotion. Now, when you are thinking about this and you're like, woohoo, I just recruited a couple of people, or woohoo, I just made a sale, or woohoo, I just did this. And you need to think about how that's going to make you feel. Okay. Your emotions need to be high. Okay. Because here's the key. And I need you guys to write this down. Super important. Okay. Really, really important. Emotion is a catalyst for manifestation. It is the most powerful tool that you have. The more emotion that you have, the more power you have, the more you are making this thing that you're manifesting come quicker and come clearer. Okay. And it's like a catalyst. It's like a turbo boost on a car. Okay. So when your emotions are intense and you're super high on excitement and woohoo, I'm doing this and this is going to happen, and I'm really, and you're feeling that intensity is a turbo booster for your manifesting. Okay. So a lot's going on here. Hey, by the way, I just want to say I tried really hard last night to get through all the comments and try to like message people back and stuff. And so if I missed you, please don't get offended. At some point my hand got sore after 400 something comments. Okay. If you just like said I'm here or something like that, I tried to like it. If you made a comment, I tried to respond to it. So I really did try to get to everyone, and if I missed you, I apologize. So let me see what is going on here. Yes. Okay. Emotion is a catalyst for manifestation, allows you to come quicker and more intense. Absolutely. That is true. Okay. So this is really important. So why do you think it was important that I sat there and talked about mindset yesterday? Okay. Because if you're not in the right space and you're not in the right state mentally, that emotion that you're having of fear becomes the catalyst for negative manifesting. Okay. I'm fearful that this isn't going to happen. I'm fearful I'm not doing this right. I'm fearful that I won't get this money. I'm fearful that I'm going to fail. That is exactly what you're going to get, because emotion is the catalyst. Okay. It is the turbo booster. This is why it's so, so, so important. Okay. So I need you to really get that. Okay. So you want to be a powerful manifester, you're going to have to use your emotion. So how do we do that? We have to sit there and think about why it's so important to you. What is it going to feel like doing these things? What is it going to like? What is it going to feel like to, you know, to make this happen? Every time I do a launch, every time I do a video, every time that I do an interview with somebody, what I do is I get myself so amped up. Okay. I mean, really amped up and really excited, because I'm like, oh my God, this is so good. It's so great. It's going to go great. I'm so excited that, and I really get myself amped up. Okay. And that kind of emotion is contagious, and so when you're doing this, you're really like, you're putting energy out in the universe, and you become like this shining star that attracts so much positive energy. And even if it's not something you manifested, it'll attract to you and like luck. Okay. So you've got to kind of like change that within yourself. And you've got to start looking at things that make you feel good. And one of the things you can do is start a grateful journal. Just wake up every day and just focus in on the things that you're grateful for. Now, when I'm working with somebody, I make it intense. Okay. So I'm like, okay, write down 3 things you're grateful for every day and never ever duplicate it. And so like they have to sit there and text me on a regular basis, writing their things they're grateful for, and they have to stretch, because after a while you're having to dig for stuff. You've already said my family and my kids and my car and my house and all that other stuff. And so when you start focusing on the things that are good in your life, you'll start finding that you become a more positive person. And when you've got 2 things, okay, you've got, let me see. I'm gonna do my little rock exercise. So hold on. I didn't realize I was gonna do this. I get started and all these ideas start coming to me. Okay. So all right, so we got 2 different rocks. Okay. One's kind of a darker color and one's a lighter color. Now, I'm going to ask you to focus on both of them at the same time. Now, what you're going to do, I'm not asking you to stare at them both at the same time. They're like eyeballs, and you're like this. Yeah. I'm asking you to focus on the green one and the yellow one at the same time. Now, sometimes it's a little easier to do it like this. Hey, I'll do it like this. I got a lighter because I like to light candles. So I got a lighter and I have a rock. Okay, so let's focus on both of them at the same time. Now, as you're focusing on the lighter, okay, you're thinking about the lighter. What does the lighter do? It lights, and then the rock, I don't know what this does. I just have a whole jar full of I have this whole glass thing that has all these crystals in it. And so you can sit here and decide what it's for. I don't know. It was just given to me. So you can sit here and say, oh, this crystal represents this, or it, has this kind of energy, or you can just say it's a beautiful ball. Whatever it is, you can sit here and think about it. And as you're thinking about both of them at the same time, or at least try, you find that you can't. Why? Because your mind's doing this. It's going ball, lighter, or your eyes are kind of going, back and forth, right? And why that's happening, it's like you can't focus on both of them at the same time. So you can't focus on negative and positive at the same time. You cannot be negative in your life and going, poor me, playing the victim, saying my life is sad, everything's going wrong, my husband's an idiot, my kids are wild, I have too much on my plate. If you're sitting here thinking about all the things that are going wrong, then there's no way that you can think about the things that are going right. And you might have 5 things that are going right and 5 things that are going wrong. Think about that. You have 5 things in your life that's going right, and you have 5 things that are going wrong. And if you're focused on all the wrong things, it will be impossible for you to even acknowledge that there's 5 things going right. And a lot of times when I do this exercise with people, they're like, I go, tell me the things that are right in your life. Tell me the things that are good. And when they start to realize that, they start to realize that, holy cow, I actually have some good things going on in my life. So, hey, Kathy. Oh my God, you joined. I'm so excited. Um, so, so I want you to think about that. Okay. So going back to this, the 4 things are thoughts, emotion, belief, and action. So we covered thoughts, why it's so important, and how you need to think about it, obsess about it, think about it, play the movie over and over and over in your head. Think about it, 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 think about it. Don't stop. Okay? It's so important. And then you need to, while you're thinking about it, you need to be putting emotion behind it. You need to be like, how does that make me feel? And what I like to do is I focus on it as if it's already happened because it has. Okay. There's scientists have proven that there's multiple realities. The quantum physicists have proven that there's multiple realities that exist simultaneously. Okay. Multiple realities. So there's all these different versions of you. And one of those versions has already succeeded. One of those versions has already completed this. One of those versions has already done it. So the way I look at it is I've already done it somewhere, so I know it's mine. So I don't look at it like it may not happen. I'm not good enough, blah, blah, blah. If there's a version of me that's done it, then there's me in this lifetime, in this reality that can do it. Because if one part of me's done it, then the other parts of me can do it. Okay. So I see it as already have it. And that's the way you need to look at it. You don't want to look at it like in a state of lack. You want to look at it as I already have it. So, what do you feel like when you have it? You say, I'm grateful. So, that emotion of that experience and that thing is so exciting. It's already here. It's right now. I've already have it. I'm so excited. I'm so grateful. Feel it, visualize it. I mean, really empower yourself with that emotion. Okay. All right. So, the next one is believe. Okay, so this one's kind of hard. I'll tell you guys a story. If you're a client of mine, you always, I'll probably get some comments. I love your stories. If you're a client of mine, you've heard my stories. I like to tell stories. I'm a storyteller. So, when it comes to belief, the very first time that I ever had an experience with somebody introducing manifesting to me was a gentleman that I met that was part of a secret society. And if you ever watch The Secret, they talk about that. They talk about how there were their secret societies that would pass on this information, and you had to be part of this elite group to be able to get this information. Now, this was way back in the day. I'm 55, so I can just say that it was a really long time ago. It was way before The Secret was actually put out. It was way before the law of attraction came out. And so all of those things, it was way before. So nobody even knew what manifesting was. So this guy starts talking to me and he goes, Michelle, I'm going to teach you something that is a secret, 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 secret. And I was like, oh my God. And he starts telling me about it. And I didn't know what it was. And so he said, here's the key thing. You have to believe. And he goes, without belief, you have nothing. And I was like, okay. And I remember sitting or walking around my apartment at the time, and I was like, how do you believe in something you don't believe in? I mean, not that I didn't want to believe in it, because I did. It's just that I wasn't convinced yet. Okay. I mean, it's almost like somebody's saying, these glasses are magic, you know? And I was like, I want them to be magic. I want them to be, to be able to see things that I can't see and all this other stuff. But I'm putting them on and I don't see anything. Okay. And he's like, oh, well, if you want to get the glasses to work, you're going to have to believe that they're going to work. Like, how do you get there? Okay. And so what I did was I literally had to figure this one out for myself. Like, how do you believe? How do you believe? Well, one of the things for me is I was raised Christian. I was a hardcore Bible banging Baptist, and so I was taught to memorize scriptures in the Bible. And so I just went to the Bible. And when I did that, I ended up finding all kinds of scriptures that said, if you ask, you'll receive. If you believe that you can move a mountain, then you can. And it's like all these things in the Bible. I mean, I found like 10 different scriptures that said all these things. And I was like, with the faith of a mustard seed, you can move a mountain. If you say mountain move, you can move it into the sea. There's so many of them. Okay. And and so I sat down and I said, well, I believe in God and I've always believed my prayers would be answered. So I think I could do this. And and so I kind of like found a way. And that was before I understood about universal energy and how it's magnetic energy. Okay. And so that belief and that thought and that emotion turns into like a big fat magnet that attracts this stuff. So I was able to sort of like hack a belief. And then the next thing I did was I decided to manifest something I wasn't attached to the outcome. I figured if I could just make something happen, like something small, then I would, it would come. So, since we're talking about belief and we're talking about that, I told you guys I would tell you my story about the juicer. So, I'm going to do that. A few of you guys have heard the juicer story, but I'm going to tell you again. The juicer story is it was one of the first things that I ever manifested. So I got all the 411 about how to manifest. So I called my best friend Grace and I'm like, I'm manifesting a juicer. And she goes, what's manifesting? And I said, okay, so what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to believe something and then it comes. And she's like, what? And I go, okay, look, I'm going to manifest this juicer. I want a high-end, high-quality juicer that's like restaurant quality, and I want it for under $10. And she goes, you're not going to find anything for under $10. So she starts sending me link after link off of eBay and all this other stuff. And she's like coupon specialist, finds all the deals and all this other stuff. And she goes, Michelle, I've spent all day looking for you a juicer for under $10, and that's impossible. And I said, look, I just need you to stick with me on this, okay? I know it sounds impossible, but I'm going to manifest it. And she's like, okay. And she goes, well, do you want to go shopping on Saturday and we'll go find that juicer? And I go, yeah, let's do it. So we get in the car and we're driving around and we went from place to place. And she says to me, okay, explain to me how this manifesting thing works. Do we need to like call out to the universe and like scream it really loud? I mean, like, what do we do? And then she literally like pulls herself halfway out of a moving car, like half of her body from here to here was sticking out of a window, and she's got her arms raised up in the air and she's waving them like this, and she's like, universe, bring us this juicer today, and it has to be under $10. And she's like screaming it really loud. And I'm like laughing so hard. I mean, my emotions got up really high because I'm watching her be really silly and she's making me laugh. And it's just like, my intensity. And she was really intense. And I just kind of went, well, I don't know if we're being able to find it today, but, we're in the process of manifesting it. And she goes, hold on a second. Based on what you told me, Michelle, there's no rules. You didn't tell me that there's a bylaw that says it's not going to happen today. She goes, so based on what you told me, we should be able to, we believe it, we can make it happen today. And I just sat there for a second and I went, you're right. So we went shopping and we ended up, she wanted to go to this little place for lunch called the Black Eyed Pea. And she was trying to convince me to go there. And I was on this no carb diet. And if you ever been to a Black Eyed Pea, they have these little baskets full of all these rolls and cornbreads and all kinds of good stuff. And it's so yummy. And so I was like, oh my God, they're so tempting. Those baskets, I can't eat that. I don't want to go there. It'll be too tempting. And she's like, Okay, we'll ask for one roll, one cornbread each, and that's it. And if you eat there with me today, she goes, I'll pay for lunch. And look, right across the street, there's a Goodwill. And she goes, we'll go get your juicer. And I went, all right. So we had lunch. We laughed. We cut up. We had a really great time. And then we walked across the street and we walked into Goodwill. As soon as we walked into Goodwill, what ended up happening was I'm like going straight over to the clothes and I'm over here looking at all these different things. And I'm like, ooh, look, isn't this cute? And stuff like that. And she goes, what are you doing? Go get your juicer. So I went, oh, okay. So I headed over to the wall with the appliances, and there it was, sitting on the shelf, $7. I was like, oh my God. So I grabbed it like, like people grabbing things on, those Good Friday sales, and everybody's grabbing that $100 TV and shit, and people are fighting and everything for it. It's like, I was literally like grabbed it so fast because I was afraid somebody was going to grab it. And I go running down the aisle. Okay. So I'm 5'9" and she's like 5'2". Okay. So she like comes up to here on me, and I run over to her and I'm like, I found it. And she grabs me and she wraps arms around me, and we've got this juicer in between us, and we're like jumping up and down going, yeah, getting super excited. And all these people were walking by us looking and going, it's a good juicer. That's a good deal. They had no clue. And it was like, oh my God. And so the power of belief. She believed. I believed. I was convinced. We threw the emotion in there. We were thinking about it. I put a lot of thought into it. I knew exactly what I wanted, and I made it happen. Okay. These kind of things are so possible. All right, a lot going on here. That was funny. I see this right here. Hold on. I love it. Oh my God, I can see the two of you and the reactions to the story. Seriously. Yeah. Oh, we're both kind of characters. She's really loud. She's like half Asian, half Italian. So she's she's really, and she's just as cute as can be. Yeah. So this one says, awesome story. Juicer is so much more than juicer. You're absolutely right. Let me tell you why. Because what this did was set me into belief. Okay. I always like to manifest something. I'm not attached to the outcome. Okay. I like to start with things that, when I'm teaching people this, is start with something that you're not going to be in the state of lack. Okay. You need to experience it the way that I'm explaining it. Okay. That's, you need to kind of go into it that way. So this is why emotion is so important. Now, in the manifesting course that I'm teaching, I'm going to be teaching you some hacks on how do you get your emotion that way when you're in the state of lack, or you're depressed, or you're always negative and you're trying to change your life, but all these other people around you, so I'm going to include some things that are hacks and kind of help you through that. Okay, because there are ways that you can hack the emotion. Okay, and what I mean by that is you're convincing the brain of something that it's not really experiencing. Okay. And I've got some tricks up my sleeve to show you how to do that. All right. So the next one after belief. So remember, you have to believe. Okay. So you got to figure out a way to convince yourself that. I think I told you once before, and I think, yesterday I was telling you, I wasn't sure if I could, believe that I could have a certain amount of money in my bank account. So I had to convince myself by like repeating it over and over again. It's so important that you're able to experience something and on a level to where you completely believe. Okay. So this is really important. All right. So thoughts, emotion, belief. And then the last one is action. Okay. You have to apply action into it because there's an energy in action. Now, action can be writing it down on a regular basis. Action can be researching it on the internet. Action can be, let's say you're wanting to buy a new house, so you're constantly like visualizing that house by looking. You're constantly on har.com or something like that. Maybe you're trying to buy a car, so you're researching that. You know, Action could be going to the dealerships and looking. Action could be a lot of different things. Action could be the energy putting towards making that happen. Like maybe that action is, if you're trying to grow your company, it's reaching out to people and making that personal contact. So I got a story about action. I got a story about everything. So I had this client, a male client, and he basically came in and said, I'm going to manifest a new job. And I said, okay. And he goes, so I just need you to hypnotize me and help me visualize this. And I said, well, I can, and that's not a problem. But here's the steps to manifesting, and this is what you need to do. And I said, so you need to put some action into it. And he goes, oh, I don't need to do all that. I just believe that it's going to happen. I'm going to get a job. And I said, well, I believe you're going to get a job too. But if you want to make it happen like really soon, this is what you need to do. And he goes, no, I don't believe that. He goes, because that's taken away the belief. That's me doing this. And I said, doesn't work like that. And until I said, well, I'll tell you what, you go do the thing that you do, and you do it the way you do it. And I'll see you next week, and we'll talk about, where your results are. So he came back the next week, and I said, did you find a job? And he goes, no. And I go, okay, are you ready to put some action into it? And he goes, no, I still believe I'm going to find that job. And I said, okay. Came back the next week, and I said, did you find a job? No, I still believe I'm going to, though. And I said, okay, I know you're going to get it too. I said, are you ready? And he goes, well, I am getting kind of desperate. So I think I'm ready to hear what you have to say. And I said, okay, here's what I want you to do. For the next week, I want you to spend 8 hours a day, just like it's a full-time job, looking for a job on the internet. And he goes, why would I do that? I'm manifesting it. I said, because it's the energy you're putting towards it. And he goes, yeah, but that's not manifesting. And I said, yeah, it is. And he goes, because I don't believe that I'm going to get a job from anything that I apply to like that. And for any kind of search I do, because I'm manifesting it. And I said, okay. And I believe that too. I said, but it's the energy you put towards it. And it's the energy that's associated with it. And so he's like, all right, you know what? I'm going to do what you said, but I'm going to guarantee that's not going to happen that way. And I said, okay, I'll see you next week when you get a job. And he goes, okay, I'm going to do it though. And I said, okay, I believe you. So he shows up next week, and I said, did you get a job? And he goes, yeah, I did get a job. And he goes, but not because I applied for anything. Like it wasn't by anything and I said, well, how did it happen? And he goes, well, I did what you said. And I was looking at different jobs, and I applied for some stuff like you said, but I went to this one site, and then I found an ad, and then there was another. And then when I went to click on that ad, it led me to another site that led to another ad. And before I knew it, I ended up on this website that said help wanted. And he said, so it didn't come from applying for a job. And I go, exactly. Exactly. I said, what ended up happening is the energy led you down a rabbit hole that led you to that. And so that's how it happened. And I'm not saying that things won't happen if you don't put action to it. Okay. They still can happen. We're talking about being a master manifester. We're not talking about just manifesting. Okay. You guys want to learn how to master this. So if you want to learn how to master it, you to put that energy towards it. So the more energy that you put towards something, the more successful it is, the more it ends up, coming into fruition. So that is the 4 steps. It's thoughts, emotion, belief, and action. All right, let's see. Oh, I wish that I could scroll up. These things are happening so fast. Yeah, exactly. That's what they thought. What he thought that somebody was just going to walk up and say, "Hey, you want a job?" And the more energy you put towards something, the more results you get. And but what manifesting does is it controls the outcome. Okay, so like let's say that you want to get very specific about something, okay, and you're being very specific about that thing that you want. That's where manifesting comes in, because that energy can come at you in different angles, okay. um Being specific is super important. I mean, that's probably one of the most important things. So Jennifer Skamonski is one of my clients, and she's probably in the group right now. She is, she was one of my clients that I worked with for a long time, and I know I can tell this story because we actually did it on a broadcast together one time. Yeah, there you are, Jennifer. So I'm going to tell your story if you're okay with it. Hopefully, we did this on a broadcast, so I'm hoping you're cool with that. So anyways, so Jennifer and I were working on manifesting, and what we decided we were going to do, and we had already started seeing this manifesting stuff happen. It was already working, okay, and she started seeing it, and she was like, "Holy crap, Michelle! I mean, it's like, oh my god!" And next thing you know, her husband starts seeing it happen. And what does he do? He brings her a list of things he wants her to manifest. And she's like, "Dude, I've already started manifesting tons of stuff for you. You need to go do this yourself." He starts walking around telling all of his friends and all the family members, "My wife's magic. My wife's magic." And it was really funny. So Jennifer started to actually, I'm going to keep my glasses on. So she's like, "So true. Yes." I love this story. It's like one of my favorite stories. They were all saying that she was magical. And anyways, once she started realizing how powerful this stuff was, and that basically all these things that she was manifesting was happening, she was like, "Okay, now that I understand this stuff is real, and I can do it, um, let's like let's go with the big guns." And I was like, "All right, let's do this." And so we started with some small things like 2 customers a week, $250 in sales a day, all of that kind of stuff. And then basically we were like $15,000 a month. Okay. We were like, "Okay, this is how much." I mean, we literally got a calculator. What are the taxes after that? What do you need? Da, 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 da. What do you want to clear? All those things. So we said $15,000 a month. So, when we did this, I mean, the first month, she was like, "All right, we're making $15,000 a month nonstop." But here's the thing, it's coming from my husband's business. Suddenly, a business that they weren't sure if it was going to work, all of a sudden started making all this money. And she's like, "I needed to come from my business," and I was like, "All right," but then what was really funny, it was 15,000 a month consistently. And then one day she just gets this check in the mail for $15,000. And she's like, "Michelle, you're never going to believe this. Oh my God, I just got this text from my husband, and we got a check in the mail for $15,000. And yeah, that big one is almost complete. Oh, yes, I know. I got that text message from you, Jennifer. I saw that. Um, so, anyways, yeah, she ends up getting a check in the mail for $15,000. And the check was, apparently it was, I think it was like, I can't remember exactly what it's called, but like when you own a business and you don't pay into, like when people get injured and stuff like that, they end up sending you a check. If nobody claims any injuries. So they ended up sending her like almost like a refund check. And it was crazy. Like I was like, "Has that ever happened before?" And she's like, "No." I mean, we were like, literally, I'm like, "What's the check for? Where did it come from?" She's like, "I don't know. Let me text my husband." And it was like, we were like all into this. Like, how did this happen? I mean, it was just, it was so cool. I mean, it was so, so cool how Jennifer was able to do this, and how we were, we were making this happen. And then yeah, and then we, when she started seeing that she could do this, she started really, like upping that ante. I mean, it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay. And um and so the thing that we discovered with her was that she needed to be very specific. So it was going to be the first month we didn't get that amount, and at the last minute it came through. Wow, that's amazing. That is amazing, Jennifer. I love it. I love it. See, it just happens. And and I had a client one time she was in sales, and she was the manager of a store, and they were averaging, about twenty to $30,000 in sales a month. And she was like, Michelle, I'm seriously, to get myself cleared up, I need to have like a $5,000 check on top of my regular paycheck. And I go, in commissions? And she said, yeah. And I go, well, what do you need to sell to make that happen? So we sat down and we got a calculator out, literally, and we figured out exactly how much she needed to sell and what her commissions were to be able to get $5,000. And once we did that, we realized that she needed to have a month where her store did $250,000, and then she would get a $5,000 bonus check. So I said, okay, I'm going to teach you this method. And I said, but you've got to stay focused, and you cannot let your mind deter from this 1 second. It's always got to be on the target. Okay. So I put her through this process. And I said, now, even if on the very last day, just like Jennifer said, the very last second, if even on that very last day, if it's not there, don't give up. Okay. And I said, do not give up. So on the very last day of the sale, of the month, she said that she was at 240,000. Okay. And she was like, oh my God, I did so well. She goes, I only have a few hours before it's going to close. It's okay. I mean, $240,000 is awesome. I mean, God, I did so well. And then she said she remembered me saying that. And she said, nope, nope, nope. We're going to get $250,000 today, and it's going to happen. And literally within the next 30 minutes, she got a phone call from an interior decorator that needed to place an order, and that order was $10,000. So it's real stuff, guys. If you can learn how to do this, you really can make it happen. So I'm telling you, powerful stuff, really, really powerful stuff. And that's the thing, is you are going to be able to manifest if you can get these tools put together. Okay. When you are very specific about the thing you want, to the point to where you can visualize it and see it and think about it, and like you're like really putting that out into the universe, stuff will happen. I promise you. So, I don't know. That's weird. Sammy, I have no idea why that is, because the chat's moving very quickly and lots are coming through. So it might be that your internet's frozen or something. That's kind of weird. Anyways, okay. So yes, it's super powerful. It's super incredible. It's super awesome. And you have the ability to manifest your heart's desires, your dreams, or even small things, in your life. And that possibility is there for you. So just a little heads up. The activity's been amazing. You guys have been doing great. I will have the drawing for the prizes on Saturday morning after I'm able to kind of go through everything and see who was the most active and kind of figure out who's going to get that prize. Okay. And basically it really is based on activity and your participation. So this is all about getting those algorithms up. Okay. And if you guys are a social seller, or if you are somebody who has their own business online, you understand about algorithms, and algorithms is how Facebook works. So the more activity, the more people see it, all that good stuff. And yeah, so anyways, this has been great. You guys have been great, and I hope that this was informative for you. So remember, we're going to have the drawing on Saturday morning, so participation is really important. And another thing too, I've got a couple of people who have volunteered to do the breakthrough on Friday. So what we're going to do, which is tomorrow, what we're going to do is we're going to go over our last day, which is how do you manifest? Okay. So how do you go about that? Like, what does that look like? Give me a way to do this. Okay. And I kind of like shown you some of those tools that you need to kind of get in place, those kind of things. And then I'm going to step you through that, a process that I personally like. And so I'm going to step you through that. And let's see, I'm lost my train of thought. I don't know where that went. Okay. Oh yeah. Breakthrough. The breakthrough sessions already have a couple of volunteers. So I highly suggest that even if you have to leave after the hour is up, so it ended up being kind of like 2 hours. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the first hour where I'm teaching you, actually how to manifest. And the second hour is going to be bringing in a couple of volunteers who want to do a breakthrough session. And that way you can kind of see how this process works. And maybe you guys might be interested in like maybe even setting up a consult with me. I do free consults. So if you are interested in having a free consult with me, kind of seeing, like what's the best option? Should I do an online program? Should I work one-on-one with you? Those options are available. Okay. And sometimes we can even do maybe even a little bit of both. So there's multiple options. And if you are in a space where you feel like that you need some mindset work, please make an appointment with me. Okay. The consult's free. You don't have to pay for it. All you have to do is just chat with me for a little while and let's assess it and see if it's something that you want. The manifesting program is going to be live, and an open cart will start tomorrow. Okay. So what I'm going to be doing is, I had a whole lot of people that put the fire emoji in the comments yesterday saying they were interested in the manifesting program. So if for some reason you didn't put the fire emoji in and now you're like, yes, Michelle, I'm absolutely sold. Now I want to do it. Go ahead and do that. That way I'm not like, reaching out to people that are really not interested, so if it is something that you want and you want to do it, then put that fire emoji in there, and that way we can contact you and reach out and let you, see if it's something that works out for you. Okay. So I really appreciate your time. This again has been absolutely amazing. You guys are awesome. And remember, again, if you are interested, put that fire emoji, let people know so I can, contact you or send you the link and let you review it, see if it's something that you're interested in. Okay. You guys have been amazing, amazing. I appreciate it. Oh, Angie Boyle, I love you too. Angie Boyle is one of my clients. And if you guys, as you've been commenting, if I've missed your comment, please forgive me. It's been moving very quickly. And it's like every so often I look and I see something. So I will try to get through some of these comments. If not today, I'll definitely do it within the next couple of days. Okay. So you guys have an absolutely beautiful life. Hold on one second. Michelle changed my bestie and helped her What? Who said this? Who's that? What is your name? Because it says Facebook user. Who is it? Okay, you got to tell me who you are because Anna. Is that Anna Woods? Hopefully. I think it's Anna Wood, right? Yes, it's Anna Wood. Okay, good. Yeah, sorry you guys if it it shows up as Facebook user for me, so I don't know who it is. So yes, well Anna, you definitely send me a PM. Let's talk. Um Yeah, I know that I worked with one of your friends. I've worked with a lot of people. I've seen thousands of people. For a few of you guys who probably don't know who I am, um, I've been doing transformational work for a really long time, and I've worked with people like Kimberly Olson, Alicia Wish, Shantali, Stephanie Skamansky. Yeah, I mean, but I've worked with thousands of people and I've made some major transformations with people, bringing them up to, a much higher level, like really kind of putting them into, the best version of themselves, whatever that may be. Some people have turned into rock stars, some people have turned into millionaires. And it's not a guarantee that you're going to be a millionaire by working with me. And I know you're like, oh my God, I want to be a millionaire. Um, but it definitely puts you on track and it gets rid of, because I'll tell you right now, I know it sounds really crazy, but a good 80% of the women that I work with have had a toxic background, and that toxicity, that trauma will affect you. And so, what we do is we release that pain, we start working on the inner child, and we kind of get rid of some of that. So, if it is something you're interested in, set up a consult with me. Just PM me personally, and I'll take care of that. Okay. So, um, Heather Durkin wants to be a millionaire. Well, let's make it happen, girl. Let's make it happen. Um, yes, you do. Yes, you do. You have to get through those mindset monsters. Absolutely. This is Jennifer, by the way. I love her so much. She's such a beautiful soul. All righty. Thank you guys. I appreciate all the wonderful comments y'all are making. Y'all are so awesome. I appreciate it. All the love is so, I love it. I love it. I love it. It makes me feel good. I'm a Leo, so, anytime you stroke my ego, it makes me feel good. But one of the things that I do absolutely love is that I really love helping people. Oh my God. I really love helping people. And it's just a passion of mine. It's just something that I really, really, really love doing. And I'm good at it. So, anyways, all right, you guys. Life has been good today. I hope you guys are awesome. And I will see you guys tomorrow. And if you are watching the replay, make sure that you put on here that you're watching the replay. So let's see. If you are watching the replay, make sure that you put in there in the comments, okay? You guys have a wonderful day. I appreciate it. See you later.